Thank you for joining me. I'm Scott Ryan. Well, we're living out history. There are real lessons in what's happened. As this morning we wake up to find out that on September 11th, 2012, the fundamentalist Muslims have murdered the U.S. ambassador to Libya, and Muslims around the Middle East are celebrating it and saying that we are all bin Ladens. This shouldn't be a surprise. And I'm really tired of the media and even Republicans, conservatives who are either delusional, in denial, or just refuse to give themselves a basic education on the history of Islam, the history of the so-called Prophet Muhammad. If they did, no self-respecting, intellectual person could actually deny that this is not a religion of peace. This is a religion built upon murder, plunder, rape. Look at the history of Muhammad. It's time that we get real, because being politically correct about the fact that Muhammad built this religion by robbing, plundering, and murdering caravans so he could go finally capture Mecca and then build this empire around the world, which is still growing today based on plunder, murder, rape, and even slavery today in Africa. It's the fact. If we were to WWMD, what would Muhammad do? If we were to ask ourselves that question, anyone who lives by the answer to that question in the affirmative would do what those terrorists did yesterday to the American ambassador, would do what the terrorists did on September 11, 2001. Those were Muslim mission trips. They were people who were fundamentalists. They were people who actually believe in the Quran, who actually read the Quran, and actually believe in Muhammad, and actually do what Muhammad commanded them to do. And to this day, as was for the past, since the 8th century, people of this faith have been going from country to country and forcing those whom they conquer to either convert to Islam or die. If you're a man, those are your two choices. If you're a woman or child, you're given the choice of slavery and castration. They will mutilate you and make you a slave, or you can convert. And it happens to this day. It is happening now. And it is happening under Islam. That is a Muslim missions trip. Those are the teachings, not only the teachings of Muhammad, those are the actions of Muhammad. I'm so tired of this. I mean, it's like people are perverse. They want to celebrate this sick religion. It's evil. It is nothing short of evil. It is a religion of Lucifer, of Satan. And it's really evident when you look at it. It seems like a paradox that the liberals have long despised the Republicans because many of them are born-again Christians, fundamentalist Christians, who actually strive to live asking the question, WWJD, what would Jesus do? So they try to live according to the way Jesus set the example. They try to live as holy lives as they can, and to do things like feed the poor and go on missions trips around the world, taking care of the poor and in our own backyard, and feeding them and giving them medical attention. Those are the radical Christians, of which 80% of the United States professes to be Christian, but very few of them have ever even read the Bible. The fundamentalist Christians are the ones that are being persecuted in this country and around the world by the left. And the paradox is the left despises us because we take away what they believe to be sacred, like murdering babies and debauchery. They feel, even though Christians don't want to oppress them or tell them how to live their life, we just don't want to promulgate things that favor them. And we just want to have freedom of religion, which the left has worked tirelessly for decades through the ACLU to take away our basic freedom of religion, the right to pray and to do basic things. But they are so vehemently against, let's talk about gay marriage, so-called gay marriage, homosexuality. We've got Christians who we believe that people have freedom of choice, and if they want to live that way, we don't want to stop them. We don't want to, we would like them to stop, but not by coercion. But we do believe it's sin because the Bible says it's sin, the Old and New Testament. There's no ambiguity there. Yet, despite the fact that we don't want to stop people from living free lives as long as they don't oppress ours in the process by taking away our constitutional rights, we've got the Muslims, whom the left venerate, who actually demand, in Muslim countries around the world, it's a matter of law, that homosexuals be executed. That women here want to be so liberated, and they accuse Republicans of waging a war against women for just a bunch of ridiculous notions that have no credence whatsoever. Yet we have these Muslims who want to murder homosexuality, murder homosexuals, execute them, behead them. They have women dress in these really nasty burqas where they look like they're ninja suits, and all they can show is their eyes. And they treat them like animals. They beat them routinely. They don't allow them to go to school. Okay, so they have a problem with the born-again Christians, but they want to celebrate, are constantly defending this peaceful religion, despite all of the facts of what's going on in the world, despite the fact that these people want to cut their heads off with a sword. If they could come here and give in their druthers, they would do that, and they make no pretensions otherwise. Yet these sick people in this country, the day after 9/11, I remember seeing the movie stars, the Hollywood left, coming out and celebrating Islam. The smoke was still billowing at the World Trade Center, smoldering. The firefighters were still out there. The rescue teams were still pulling bodies out of there. Yet a day or two after that, these Hollywood freaks were out there defending Islam as a peaceful religion. I remember, I think it was Will Smith or Jamie Foxx and one of the other, I'm pretty sure it was Will Smith, was out there with one of the female Hollywood lefties, of which are many, talking about the first thing in this telethon to raise funds for their victim was to talk about what a beautiful and peaceful religion Islam is, and apologizing, despite the fact that they had their peaceful religion just executed 3,000 innocent Americans on our own soil the day before. There's a reason. It seems like a paradox that for decades, this left-wing Democrat Party would be waging war against things that aren't even true, things that they've conjured up, they've made up about conservative Christians. Waging this war as though we're these evil people. It's because they war against Jesus Christ himself. It's spiritual. It has nothing to do with the ideals when it comes down to it. It has nothing to do with the fact that we don't support the debauchery and Marxist policies. They don't even know why. And I heard Rush Limbaugh talking about this today in a sort of a tangential way, but he did mention that they don't even know why they hate us, but they look at the Muslims or us as more of a danger than the Muslims, and they do. But I know why it is. It's because this country was founded upon the word of Jesus Christ. It's in the Mayflower Compact. It's in the tens of thousands of founding documents. The Word of God, the Judeo-Christian Bible. And it is a country founded upon Jesus Christ. And these people have the same Father. They follow the same God as the Muslims. It doesn't matter if the Muslims want to murder them, as they do with homosexuals. It doesn't matter that the Muslims look at these liberal women as dogs or cattle and beat them relentlessly, that can kill them in their own countries for nothing. They all the rights that they enjoy here. It doesn't matter that the Muslims despise them and literally want to kill them. It's a perversion. It is like people who, I don't know, it might even almost be an erotic type of perversion where they love to put their lives on the line. They get some sort of thrill out of that, knowing that they are supporting these people that want to put the sword right through their neck and out the other end. But the reason is they war against the fundamental, Jesus Christ. They prefer darkness because their deeds are evil. And that's the only way that this could explain. A paradox is a statement that seems contradictory, but in reality it is true. And it is a paradox when you look at the things that the liberals allege to be the cause of why they oppose the Republicans, or at least the conservatives, when the things they have to give approbation to, essentially, by defending these sick bastards over in the Middle East. And even the Jews. 80% of American Jews voting for this party. These people, it's like the equivalent of if people walked in the Holocaust, walked voluntarily, marched into the gas chambers at will. That's what this is. That's how sick and demented this is. I mean, everything Obama has done systematically, one after another, since he took office, snubbing Israel, sending overt signals to the Middle East that he is anti-Israel, including the most recent that happened yesterday, snubbing Netanyahu. It can't be any more clear. This is a sick perversion, and it's very prevalent amongst American Jews. I mean, American Jews, these people in Hollywood, like Harvey Weinstein and Rob Reiner and all these actors and these media Jewish people, like where many people get their delusional version of news, like Jon Stewart and Stephen Colbert. These people are not even authentic Jews. They're a disgrace to their race. They are the reason why persecution will come to Jews in this country and around the world, because they betray everything that the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob commanded them in Moses. These people are perverse. These people are communists. They are the equivalent of like King Herod, who executed all the children in history, documented fact. It was supposed to be a Jew. They are the Jews like those who worshipped Baal and Molech and sacrificed children. These are the kind of people who caused Israel to be handed over to their enemies. These are not the kind of Jews that they themselves persecute. The real Jews that in Israel who follow and obey their faith, that obey and serve God, they persecute themselves. They persecute them in this country as Zionists. Many of those 80% that are voting Democrat are persecuting their own people. They are the Baal worshipers, the Molech worshipers, the Herods. These people are only, if they are Jewish only by birth. But they have betrayed their race. And the George Soroses, let's add him in. These are the kind of sick people who are traitors to their race and will bring on future Holocausts. Pray for the peace. I pray for the peace of Jerusalem. I pray for those poor, righteous Jews who are, some here and some in Israel, who are striving to be obedient and serve the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. These are the people, the true Jews, who are true to their God and to their faith. And they are God's chosen people. Let no one say that I am anti-Semitist for talking about and defending the true Israelis who believe in their birthright. That land is theirs. There's a reason why it was called the Promised Land. And God will be true to that covenant, though the nations of the world gather around against her, including those traitors like the Harvey Weinsteins, the Colberts, the Jon Stewarts, all these Hollywood leftists, the Barbara Streisands, the Sarah Jessica Parkers. These people are a disgrace to the Jewish race. They are a disgrace to Judaism. If they supposedly practice it, that means nothing. Everything that they have done has done nothing but betray Israel and to undermine the values of the Judeo-Christian God. It's time to wake up, people. Political correctness is destroying this country, and it is the most significant threat right now to our freedom, in collusion with this imposter at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. Thank you for joining me. I'm Scott Ryan.